Sean Godsell was born in 1960 in Melbourne, Australia, which is why most of his works are based in Australia. His architect father, David Godsell, inspired him. He graduated from University of Melbourne in 1984. Later, he worked in London for Sir Denis Leadsom for 2 years. He then returned to Melbourne and started his own firm. In 1999, he obtained his master's from RMIT. In the same year, he designed the Future Shack, which gained him recognition. One of his earliest works is the Future Shack. Made from recycled shipping containers, these are used to form volumes of space. It works as temporary, third world and mobile housing. Budget housing forms the basics of this design. The Future Shack is fully recyclable and self-sustainable. Next, we have the Carter Tucker House. This house consists of 3 levels and is embedded in a sand dune. The third floor is used entirely for dining due to its spectacular views of Australia. It is Japanese influenced and the veranda of the building exists as an extracted floor. The Glenburn House is actually the first prototype of Sean Godsell's on the coast. Being located on top of a hill, this house receives panoramic views. It is embedded on the hilltop to buffer the building from extreme heat in summer, and parts of the building acts as solar collection. Although Sean Godsell comes out with many marvelous works, the one we would particularly like to highlight today is the Peninsula House. Tucker House. The Peninsula House is also embedded into a sand dune and consists of 2 levels. The building consists of an exoskeleton, which is the timber screen, and the endoskeleton, which is the inner spaces enclosed by steel and glass. The timber screen that covers both the roof and facade is made from recycled wood from farms and mills. The double-layered roof allows sunlight in but keeps the wind and rain out. Next, we will proceed on with the tour of the house. We first exit from the garage on the upper floor. There are actually 2 stairs, one that leads to the lower floor and the other that leads to the living spaces of the upper floor. We then walk down towards the stairs that brings us past the storeroom and into the inner courtyard. The inner courtyard is one that is overlooked by the bathroom. We now enter the bedroom. The bedroom has a lower ceiling compared to the 2-story living room. Therefore, it has less light and provides a cozy feeling. We then continue down to the lower level, which brings us into the kitchen. The kitchen does not have a partition separating itself from the living room. This allows the house owner to allocate the size of the living room according to their liking. We will next pass through the laundry room, which is next to the library. The library is the room which is most dimly lit. The tour of the house ends as we arrive at the outer courtyard via the veranda. From afar, the Peninsula House looks like a timber box. The rectilinear form contrasts with its organic topography. Verticality of the stairs also plays against the constant horizontality. As I mentioned just now, the timber screen that covers the facade appears to be veil-like. The shadows cast by the timber screens create an ephemeral look and signify the passing of a day. The most prominent feature of the bathroom will be the glass awning that provides the user with a sense of privacy and yet at the same time enable them to look out into the inner courtyard. There is also a glass awning at the living room facing the exterior with the same function. When closed, the awnings provide security and protection. When opened, it provides direct connection to the environment. Here, we have a bubble diagram of the house. The main spaces of the house are the living room, the bedroom, and the library. The secondary spaces are aligned side by side to the main spaces. The house makes use of Japanese methodologies where the living spaces are called moya and the veranda for circulation is the hisashi. The house combines both Japanese and Western concepts. Japanese architecture emphasizes a lot on nature and the house encourages interaction of the user with the environment. The outer courtyard is also very Zen inspired, very simple and empty. The timber exoskeleton makes use of the matchstick mannerism and architectural style from the Queensland. Lastly, we have the sunroom that allows penetration of light into the house but at the same time shelters its users from wind and rain.